Hi there and welcome back to the channel. Today on the bench is a Sony KV1612UB 16-inch TV from 1983. It looks older, it looks a lot older. It's based upon the KV1400 from 1978, so it's got that sort of 70s vibe. The colour is not original, it's supposed to be white, this TV, and it's basically the sun's bleached it, so a little bit of retro brighting might work on this, I'm not sure. I picked it up from eBay. I think it was about 20 quid, £25. It was said to be working. I've already tried this, and yeah, this is what happens with eBay, is people want it to be their lottery win. And they often say, oh yeah, it works, just to get the sale, and then you get it home and it doesn't, and it happens a lot. And also on eBay you get lots of people punting something out which is worth about 50 quid for 350 because they want a lottery win out on it. So yeah, good luck to all of you out there who put your items way higher than what the market value is worth. So sorry about the rant, but yeah, I struggle with this with eBay. It's quite a thing. So let's let's get on and have a look at this. Cosmetically, apart from the crack here on the panel, on this panel here, there's a bit of it missing here, which I think I can recreate. It's not too bad, it's a little bit scuffed up. Yeah, it's got a few scuffs and a few knocks and bangs. It's a bigger TV than you think. So if you're used to little portable Sonys, this is just a little bit bigger. Got a nice grab handle here, a fantastic telescopic aerial, they were always very good. It's even got a little, look, you've got a little locking thing here, which is nice. You've got vertical control here, you've got G2, you've got various settings for colour here, so you don't have to take the thing off. You've got the convergence there, vertical width is there, aerial, which I don't think that's really been plugged in very much. You've got cable storage and reliefs and stuff like that. Yeah, there's a bit of scuffing here, and I also noticed on the way home there's a crack in the top here which I can fix. It's just glue. So yeah, apart from this cable around, let's put it back in. Apart from that, cosmetically it's not too bad. Now, I do know, and it wasn't mentioned on this thing, but I noticed as soon as I picked it up, is that the power button doesn't really want to stay on. I've actually now got it on, and it doesn't really work. You have to hold it in. So I've got to try and fix that. I've checked the plug, had to rewire it a little bit. It was pretty ropey. Very old plug, Dura plug, made in England. Well, that's a sight you don't see anymore. And I'm actually quite glad about that. Yeah, let's plug it in and see what happens. Right, I'm not going to put this on load. These TVs don't like to be borne up on variacs or with bypass using a current limiter, like I'm using with the bulb. They don't like that. If the I think it's the horizontal oscillator doesn't start up, it can damage. So yes, you have to take components out of the board before you can do that, to basically disable various aspects of the circuit. So yeah, I've got a list somewhere of the components you have to take out of this one to stop that from happening. So right, let's power up, and as you can see, it goes into standby. I'm just going to go and get a remote control. I think the remote control might work with this. This is a remote control set, by the way, and we've got here in underneath here, and I've forgotten to show you. So we've got brightness, we've got sub volume, because this uses remote control as well as buttons to do the remote control program. So here and here, you've got color and picture, AFT, and then you've got all the tuning. It's very, very similar to a KV1400 UB on this one. So they're lovely little sets. I've got one up in my collection in the loft, so which I need to actually get down and actually start up and run for a while. So right, let me just go and get the remote control. So I've got the remote control. This is from my KV1412 UB up in my spare room where I have all my gaming. It's also got controls for a Betamax machine, which will control the Betamax machine over there. This is silver because the actual 1412 is silver. There is a black version of this which I believe goes with this, or it's like this colour here on the remote. So I might actually invest in that if I can get this to show a picture. If it shows a picture, then I'll invest in it. So right, here we go. I'm going to press number 1. That's interesting. The little LEDs are just flickering. So let me bring you down. Oh, by the way, this is how it should look like that. So that's what colour this was when it was new. yeah, that much. So if I press the button there, you might just see very, very, very faint. It's not really showing up on the camera. It's sort of, there's a varying in intensity of the actual LED. So, okay, so if I hold this in, then it should turn on. Yeah. And we do have sound. It's very difficult to do this single-handed. There's absolutely no picture. There is high voltage. I can hear it. I've checked with the Spectroid. That actually there is a 15 kilohertz signal, and there is. So there's a lot going for this TV. There is things going on. However, if I hold it in long enough, if you look at the bottom of the screen, when I turn off, let's see whether it'll do it. 1, 2, 3. No. When I last turned it on, I got a tiny little bit of a white patch of a raster here, as if it had collapsed in. So I wonder whether this is the screen voltage. There's a fairly hefty resistor in Sony's, which actually limits the voltage, the 800 volts to the screen voltage. So I'm wondering whether it's that. I've had that go on many TVs. So let me put you back on the tripod and let's try and play with some of the controls. I'm even going to turn the lights off, so we'll have a look. Okay, so I have turned the lights off. There's got one just behind me just to get a little bit of light in. So I'm going to hold the button in. That's cool. As you can see, I'm getting a response from the when I do a remote control. So there is something going on there. But it's not responding to any controls. Nothing whatsoever. There's absolutely nothing on this screen. I can't see anything. I can't see anything in the camera either. So let me just turn off and let's see whether we get any flicker of life. No, but there's definitely high voltage because there's dog hair being attracted to it. So, yeah, and I can hear it. I can, even with my dead ears, I can hear it. And let's put the brightness all up. Yeah, the sub volume's fine. Put everything all up. I think I can see something. I think I can see something. Is that me? Like I can see static. Let me get the camera off. Right. I'm not sure, but I wonder whether I can see static. Whether it is a raster. Is it me? Right, let's see when I turn off. See? There is something there. There is definitely something there. I definitely think there's something there. I might try and tune this TV in. Let's see now. It's holding on. But it's very odd, that button. Right, the remote control is now not working. Okay. Yeah. I thought I saw something. It was very, very faint. It was like a mottled, like a static effect, but it was very, very, very dim. And again, with that happening down here, you can see that there is static going on. So, yeah, let me just turn the lights back on, and we'll continue on. So I think there's hope for this. Again, you can see there's a raster. There's something going on there. There is a raster on this, albeit faint, and you can only really see it when when you're switching off, and it contracts down to here. So I think there is hope for this television. I'm going to give it a little bit of a clean up, and try to get rid of a lot of the marks and things. And we'll have a look inside, and let's see what we see. Well, this looks original. This looks like it hasn't been disturbed in a very, very long time. Oh wow, yeah, maybe the dust is coming out on this. Just look at this. Look at that. That is quite something. Yeah, that is quite something. I don't often see Sonys like this. Yeah, wow. Let me just zoom in a little bit. Now, I know that Shangu66 loves TVs like this, and he loves not cleaning it, and his viewers also like that as well. And to be honest with you, I love watching him pick up the biggest dirtball TV ever and actually bring it back to life. Me, personally, I don't want to work on this unless I clean it. I don't want the crap all over me. So this will be getting a clean. Yeah, this is well loved with this TV. This has been very much well loved. So yeah, look at that. This is gonna have a date with an air blower. Yeah. So I just to zoom out. Let's right. I do have the socket for my tube tester for this one. And so what we'll do is probably the next stage is to check the tube. I think the tube is going to be all right. I've got a funny feeling it's going to be used but serviceable. God, yeah, that dust is, yeah. Just look at it. Look at it, look. got its own fur coat. Look. Oh. This is going outside and being blown. Oh God, yeah. I don't really want to disturb any of this. Not here. So, but otherwise, the windings on there, they all look a good colour. Often they corrode if it's been in a damp environment. This is the SCC 251DA chassis, which I think is the later one, the XE3 chassis. The tube is a 400 EHB22. From memory, that's going to be 6.3 volts, I think. So yeah, this is the main power board. That's the remote control board there. This is all of the tuner and deflection there. You've got other boards down there for the all of the sockets, the controls and stuff like that. Nice big speaker, 1.5 watt. That'll bump a little bit. Yeah, convergence. Yeah. Let's have a look. Bring it round. Has it had any rework? Not sure. Don't think so. There's nothing on that board. And as you can see, that's the power switch just there, which is, I need to try and sort. I might try and take it apart and see what happens. The problem with this is that it's not just the power to the TV itself. Part of the circuit, there is a reset switch for the remote control. So when you switch in, power goes on, and then it does the reset line on that chip there. There's a chip there. Let's turn this around a little bit. There we go. That IC there, which does the remote control. So yeah, I think there's good hope for this TV. I really think there's good hope. Let's turn it on its front and have a look at the board underneath and see how baked it is. Okay, so this isn't too bad underneath here. It's not as baked as I thought it might be from the topics thing. None of the high voltage resistors have baked the PCB in that area. Yeah, I can't see any dodgy solder joints or anything like that. Not immediately to there. So into my first looks, yeah. But just look at the dust. Look at the dust. This is going to be high hour. I'm sure this is going to be a high hour. It's not just natural dust, I think. Yeah, that's the circuit board for the controls. The controls are very clunky. It's because it hasn't really been run. There we go. There's the power switch there, which I've got to try and fix. Yeah. It's not as bad as I think when you just look at the actual state of this thing here, and you just think, oh my god, it's just been run into the ground. It could have been. I need to check with the CRT tester. So, okay, let's get the CRT tester on this and see what we get. I've got the CRT tester on the actual tube itself. It's a bit difficult because even though the socket the connector 5, he's such a pain, that dog, has got a little keyway here to try and align it. There's no keyway on the tube or the actual socket itself, so I found it quite hard. So what I've done is I've actually aligned the two heater pins there. G1's down there, which is also down here. So I've got that pattern here, and I've actually looked on the BK tester diagrams and actually lined it all up, so I think I am correct. So let's see whether this tube actually tests okay. So I'm just going to give this little bit of a glass a bit of a clean, so I can actually see if the actual heater actually fires up, and it is very grimy, so let me just get something useful to sort that. And the dogs are going, where are the dogs? I don't know where they are. They're around somewhere. Oh, they're down there. They're down there. Yeah, yeah. Hello, Jack. Hello, Safi. So that's a bit better. So you can see these three cups here. You can see some discoloration at the back there on this one, which shows that it has been used quite a bit. Let me just... Can you see that the first two are silvery, but the rear one is a bit duller? Yeah, that's a sign of... Let's just zoom in. There we go. That's a sign that it has been used, and used quite a lot. So it takes quite a bit of time for that back cap, like that this one here, to actually... Oh, sorry, there we go. That one there to actually discolor. So yeah, it's probably a high hour set. Right, let's get back to this. I always like to use the instructions where possible, just in case. I don't want to screw up a CRT. I do know how to use this machine, but I don't use it that often. So yeah, it's I like to sort of just remind myself. So okay, so set of controls fully counterclockwise, done all that. Upper left to norm, yeah, fine. I sometimes forget to set these back and turn them all counterclockwise. I have done that before and caused problems. So okay, heater voltage is going to be 6.3, so it's going to be the 4.7 sorry, 4 to 7 volt range. Plug-in tube and power cord, rotate function set to setup. Here we go. In fact, what I'm going to do is, will we actually see it? Okay. Right, here we go. No smoke, no nothing. Set heater voltage. Oh, that would help, wouldn't it? Right. Dear, oh dear, dear, oh dear. Rob, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Try again. Setup. Yeah, that doesn't feel right. Okay, I'm getting some really weird readings from this, and I've double checked the connections from this, and it matches up with this. So heater's there, blue, green, red, G2, G4, G1. Yeah, it's there. It's there. So if I turn all this down again, so adjust the heater control to 6.3. Okay. Then set G1 voltage to 50 volts, and there's a start. No. 400 EBH 32. Yep, there's nothing there. EBH 22. That's fine. There's no start. Okay. So sets the G1 voltage. So I'm just turning that to 50 volts. Okay. Check the leakage lamps. No flickering whatsoever. That's fine. Rotate to cut off. And then we then turn these just slightly just above 0. So normally I'll go to the first. Woo, there we go. So go to the first notch. And then that one there. Just make sure that they're all still good. That one there. Just the first notch will do. Yep. Test. Here we go. Well, that's conclusive. That is a good tube. That's good. That's very, very, very good indeed. So yeah, and they're all about equal. Yeah, they're all at 14, 14 and a half, 14. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that. So if I press the life button, let's see how long it actually lasts before it drops. 1, 2, 3. That is very good. That is a nice, strong tube. Look, I said the button's still down. Put it back up again. That is really, really nice. Sorry about the glare from my overhead light. So, press the life button. Those emissions are strong. This is a really good tube. Right, good. We're starting with something good. Excellent. So, we've tested the tube, and the tube is very strong indeed. So, let's turn this off. Yeah, it's faintly warm. Yeah, the heater's been doing its job. So, yeah, nice. Cool. Okay, we can start looking at some of this stuff now. And but before we do that, I want to clean this out. I absolutely want. I am not going to work on this like this because it's just way too crappy, and I do not want to inhale any of this. So let's give this a good blowout. So this is not the ideal situation. I can't take it outside because it's just starting to rain. So I've just got it on the edge of the threshold here, next to my motorbike. So hopefully my motorbike won't get absolutely covered. Right, got a airbed inflator, and it creates a really nice good jet of air, and yeah, works really well. It's very noisy though, very noisy, very noisy. Right. This is actually quite hard to blow off. I might have to use a brush of some sort. Yeah, it's sort of like a stuck on. It's like it's not moist, it's sticky. But anyway, right, let's keep going. Alright, yeah, this might need agitating with a brush to actually clean it. So this has got quite a powerful jet, but it's just not shifting it. So I think it needs the actual dust agitating up a little bit, and and then blowing off, and also it's raining out there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop doing this for now until it stops raining, and then I can take it outside properly, agitate it, and also blow it out. It's just not the right moment to do it with it trying to pee on it as well. So, and I don't want to blow this in the lab because it's just so much dust, because I'll breathe it in. Right, let's move it back in and let's work on other stuff. Yeah, it's very furry indeed. So yeah, yeah, I don't really want to do much of this. This is a bit ridiculous. The dust won't really damage it. I just don't want to work on it and put soldering irons into this with all this crap in, because it's just going to either I'm going to end up breathing all these hot vapors in from all this dust. So yeah, I'll just have to wait until the rain stops and I can take it outside. So you can see it's pretty much the same length. I'll just twist it on its side. So I'm just going to sort of electrically check it, just to make sure it's all continuity is all good, and then I will put this back in and mount it back in, and then we'll then try it and see whether the volume goes up. Okay, TV's on. That's the volume down. If I nice click. So I'm going to replace all of those switches with nice new ones, I think. So there we go, all the buttons replaced, all the old ones out. So I'm just going to put this back into there and test all of them, though I can't see the picture, so some of them won't be able to test, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so after a trip to IKEA for food and a few bits and pieces, I came back on this, and so I decided to just go through with the Hoover. I've got the Hoover down there and a bunch of brushes, and I have slowly worked my way through cleaning the board as much as I can. And again, there's still a few places where there's a bit of dirt and there's some dust on the cables, but generally it's reasonably clean. It's clean enough to work with, clean enough to sort of to sort of go around. And while I was cleaning inside the dust, I remember this was caked on. There was literally like a layer about 1/2 centimetre of just fine dust, just dust from 40, 50, 45 years. What was it? 40? Yeah, 40 years worth of use. And buried in the dust was this screw, and it was sitting on the board touching a couple of components. So I thought, well, that's no good. So I fished that out and kept on cleaning, and so I've sort of just gone through and made sure that there was no other screws. I've also just sort of connected and reconnected some of the cables as well, just to sort of give it a running chance. And I then turned this board over and I started checking for dodgy solder joints, and I found a few in the voltages going out for the screen. So I think it's somewhere down there, somewhere down that way. And so on the other side of the board, I just sort of reflowed them and pretty much got it sort of just I looked around and there was very few dodgy solder joints. There was a few nasty ones looking funny at me, so I did that. And then I thought, okay, well, now I've cleaned it, let's power it up and see what happens. And this is what happens. Oh, if I can shift that round without pulling that cable. So I thought, okay, right, I'm going to plug a source in. I've got Doctor Who: The Ark in Space playing on DVD. Okay, so here we go. Look at that. The bloody thing works. And that is such a great picture. That is just fantastic. I'm going to switch to 50 hertz mode just so that it stops the flickering. Right, there we go. Look at that. What a cracking picture. The actual tube tester was right. It was really, really strong, and it's got lots of life. The life thing on it didn't move for like 20 seconds, and even then it didn't go down much. So, okay, let's just press the buttons and get... There we go. So, that's the picture. There's the brightness. So if we turn it as far down as it'll go, that's as far down as it'll go there. Turn the brightness right up. Yeah, that's really bright. Something like that. Colour. And the new buttons are great because they're nice and clicky, so you get a good feel. Volume. Yeah, there we go. That is a cracking picture. Yeah. So a screw, and the thing is that screw was buried in it. It wasn't like it would actually dropped onto the actual fluff. It was sort of, there we are, there's a bit of fluff there. It was actually physically buried. You couldn't see it. And it wasn't until I started to brush the fluff away from it, so it was like a blanket of fluff over the top of it. So that screw had been in there. Now, from what I could see, it was touching a transistor and something else. I wasn't sure because it was done so quickly, and it was in sort of the high voltage circuit side. So yeah, that's a result. What a great little TV. Lovely picture. Absolutely lovely picture. So let's just... Right. There we go. That's brilliant. I'm really pleased. So, we know it works. It's just a case of then doing a lot of the cosmetics. Again, I've replaced the power supply button. I've wired the remote together. The connections for the remote. The remote doesn't work. Let me try that. Oh no, look. No. No. It's just flashing, but it's not doing anything. So, yeah. No matter what I press, nothing's happening. Hopefully that is the right... I think RM636, yeah. Okay. Let me just try something else. Hold on. Where did that remote go? Yeah. Is it just reacting to... Ah, look. Yes. So it's just reacting to any infrared signal, so it doesn't understand the signal. So I need to get the right remote. It might still work. Yeah. Dead pleased with this. This is a nice size screen, 16-inch screen. I do have another 16-inch screen, Trinitron up in the loft, but it's got issues where colour demodulation keeps on dropping in and out. Right. Okay. So this is a live set, so I'm not going to fiddle around with it too much tonight. Now we know that this works. Just look at that picture. Seriously, very few Trinitrons look as good as this. They're often quite worn out. This is really, really strong. So if I just turn that down. Cool. So I'm going to try and find the right remote for it. I'm also going to do a full capacitor replace on this. This is about preservation, not extreme economic restraint. I'm not into that when it comes to this type of stuff, because even if the set's only worth 60 quid and I spend another 50 quid on it, that's fine. It's what it's worth to me, not what it's worth on the market, because I'm not doing it to sell. I'm not doing it like that. I'm trying to actually build up a good collection in great condition, and this is a great addition to that collection. And I'll have to dig out all of the ones I've got and go through them. But yeah, this right. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put a test CD on with test patterns on, and let's see what we get. And there we go. Let's just turn it down a bit. Okay. So, what do I see here? I see that the actual picture's twisted very slightly. That's fine. It's also off-center a little bit. It should generally be sort of, those should be central with Sony there. Yeah, so I think what's happened is it's twisted that way. So I can, it's easy enough to do. I can actually sort of slacken it all off and adjust, twist it. I just have to be very careful what I do. The colours are awesome. They're really, really good. Nice rendition of those colours. We're getting some bleeding. Oh, we've got some hooking up here, which is going to be capacitors. That's going to be capacitors there. And also just on the edges of here and here and here. And also there's a line there. Let's see whether I can get in there. So you can see there, little minor blips where it transitions from dark to light here, and also that hooking up there. That's definitely capacitors. Yeah, we also got some hooking of the vertical line just there. That's that. So yeah, that's interesting. Let's go to the next one. That looks good. Again, apart from the twisting of the actual the image, twisting to the right, rotation to the right. That's pretty good. Again, the transitions are a little off up here. We've got convergence issues there. I'm not surprised. This thing's been left for ages, absolutely ages. Yeah. So again, as you can see, is it? Oh yeah, that's the DVD trying to do that. This is interesting. This one actually, you can see on the lines. Can you see as it goes? Actually, starts the next line, so it's going downwards. So it does the horizontal, and here it looks like it wiggles and then settles down. Purely capacitors. All of them across. Yeah, can you see? Just there. And just there. Every single one has got it. That's entirely capacitors. Let's try. Yeah. Wow. That is bright. That is very, very bright indeed. A bit too bright, actually. Impressive. Red. That all looks good. There's no real impurities in the red anywhere on this. The green looks good. In the camera, it looks a bit weird, but actually in like it's an off green. But no, that's actually green. That looks pretty good to my eyes. That's just the camera showing that. The blue. In the camera, you're getting like a moire effect which is not in person. Again, no impurities, no. That all looks really good. And the white is pretty much white, yeah. Very nice indeed. Yeah, the transitions all look good. There's a slight bowing here, so it's closer to this side, and as we go up here, but again this is all twisted. You can actually see, if I run my finger down, it gets closer at the bottom to here than it is up there. So that, I think, is just a rotational issue. Yeah, nice. Really, really, really nice. Yeah. Love it, love it. That's really good. That's really good. Right, let me go. I'm just going to just reset this back to the original. Come on. Top menu, and then go back to that one. Yeah. So the frequency response here is good. Yeah, that's, you can still see the lines at that block. That's really good. The wobbling of that line in the camera, I can see that, is not visible. That's to do with the rolling shutter, I think, or the shutter. So, really nice. Right, okay. I'm going to start to put the cover back on this, and we'll start giving it a good clean up as well. Right, well, it's back together again. I've given it a good clean up. Apart from that damage on that flap, it's in great cosmetic condition. Yeah, okay, the case has been damaged by the UV rays of the sun, and again, that TV over there, the Sony white one, that used to look like that. Well, sorry, that TV used to look like that. But this is quite normal for TVs of this generation. In fact, things like games consoles, Ataris, Commodores, they all suffer from UV damage, and you have to do retrobrighting. Should I retrobright this? I don't know. I don't know what to do with it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sort out the damage here. What I might do with this is I might actually build it up using bicarbonate of soda and super glue, which is a tried and true method of actually rebuilding that, but it could end up being quite messy. I might try and see whether I can find another flap. The buttons are all fantastic.
Ah, there you are, awake at last. Move away.
Yeah, they're all working great. The button's working great. Again, the remote control, I'm going to have to try and find the right remote control for it. But yeah, I'm really, really pleased with this. This was, again, this is 20 quid, whatever it was. And yeah, just a light cosmetic, and just a light refurbishment of all the solder joints, and a clear up, and the damn thing's running. Yeah. Dead impressed by it, yeah. And the picture's just so sharp. That CRT tester was bang on accurate about how strong that was. Right, thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, hit that bell if you want to subscribe to my channel and get notifications. Hope you're enjoying the videos. Again, this is mainly entertainment, showing what I get up to, and I'll see you on the next video.